All right, we got a huge huge change to the pin lock tactician. It's doing some really crazy damage. Basically our base damage right now is 13,400. We can scale this above 40,000 with all of our buffs active, which is absolutely insane. We made a big change to galvanic, which is honestly a game changer. I'm gonna have to go into a map to show you how much that scales though. But yeah, so I'm gonna go into a map right now, show you what it can get up to. So, you know, last night, so we pretty much, we did like, as you can see, I only got to do a tier 8 for up to Nexus right now. But I would do like, I did tier 6. I was like, why grind 6s when I can probably go higher? So then I did 7, then I did 8, then I did 9, then I did 10, then I did 11. We were clearing 15s at the end of stream last night. So this build, even though it's not like super optimized with gear right now, we can clear tier 15. So we still need it. There's a lot of things that'll one-shot you. I don't know if that's still the case, because before I would have people playing with like 3,500 life and like 1,000, 1,500 energy shield, and they were still getting one shot in endgame. So I don't know if that's still a thing, but like there was a lockbox that every, like a monster, a rare respawns 6 times in a row, and every time it gets stronger. And like his last iteration, he threw like 10 blood spears at me and just obliterated me. But you know, we'll work on defenses a little more. We're pretty much rolling evasion right now, which if we roll, we get 52% evasion, 3,800. We can still get more from our gear. Our gear is still like, you know, level 45. You know, we need more movement speed. It's a work in progress. Okay, anyway, let me show you how this build works. We're just gonna go into like a 14 real quick. Do this one, the boss here. I only have 3 15s, and I'm not gonna waste it on just a regular old map. So yeah, if you haven't seen the build so far, basically you're just placing your totems down, and then you're just blasting everything, right? Hey, look at this. Dead. Dead. Look how quick they die. So, watch when we get, okay? We kill a shocked enemy, we get innervate. Okay? You see it down there? It's circling us. Our DPS goes to 29,000. We were just at 13,000. So just from this skill right here, I don't know if they changed it because I didn't run it before, but I had it on like my list to try. All of your attacks gain 35% of damage as lightning damage for 5 seconds on killing a shocked enemy. So when you're blasting mass with galvanic, this, you'll see it,
One down. Who's next?
watch, you'll see the little orb circling me. Let me kill the shocked enemy. See how we have it? It's a little orb and it's a debuff on the bar. It actually shows up and then it goes away. So as long as you're just blowing through mobs, you're constantly gonna have this. But look at this, okay? 14,400. Let me kill these dudes. Look at that. 14,400 up to 20,000. So, and it's gonna scale more with our totems. We get the totems going. Let me get everything set up. We'll get big totems going. We'll get that up to 44 rage. And then I'll toggle through all of our ammunition. All right. 46,275. When we switch between all 3 of our ammos, we have maximum rage and we have innervate going. Now without that, we're only at 14,000. So this build scales when you're just sitting there blasting and you got your totems down. It's pretty crazy how high it's scaling. And we need attack speed, skill speed. I'm gonna get 16% more off the skill tree, and then I might run the Hoa gloves even though they got nerfed. But as you see, that's pretty good power, right? You're absolutely blasting. And you look at shock burst, 21,000, 111,000 on the pulse. pretty good. It's not scale like I had a witch hunter before with like pretty much the same galvanic, shock burst, plasma blast. It's not scaling as much as it used to, but it's still strong. Explosions 225,000. But yeah, that's pretty much how the build works, right? And then we got grenades for rares that are a little tough. It just absolutely obliterates them. And yeah, you just place your totems, you let those get aggro, and then you just start blasting. And once they get shocked, you can use shock bursts, get them down, or you can, you know, as you can see. And now we do 140% pin, and our totems here do 650% pin. So our totems are doing 790% pin buildup. Hey, look at that. They're all pinned. It's over. And they do decent damage. That's not bad. And our next Ascendancy, I'm going to try it. I don't know how I feel about it, because basically it gives them another like 20% damage and then 30% skill speed. The only issue with the skill speed is they only attack when I do. And my strat right now is to like pop down my totems, kind of roll away, let them pin, and then I come in and blast them, right? So if I place them down and I'm trying to like get them to pin, and I'm like, you know, like I'll do this, come out of here, let them pin, and then I go for it. They're not going to do that with that Ascendancy node, but the 30% skill speed is going to be nice, because there's nothing else I would really run. Nothing really worthwhile. So I guess I'll have to like do this, roll back, and then like start shooting or something, and then because it gets aggro and it like, you know, gains their attention. So I'll just have to get in the habit of doing that, roll back, and then just shoot in any direction, and then they'll start firing, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna have to play with it, but as you can see, this build is just crazy good. Everything comes out of the strong box, pinned on the ground. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can move. You know, it's great. So I'm going to get to the boss. I'll show you the boss, and I'll show you a bunch of clips. I got like 20 clips of killing bosses, and we'll show you how the pin build-up works on the bosses. The thing I forgot to mention, if you got like a strong box and it opens and it has like the modifier that it shoots those like purple chaos balls in like a kind of like an arc, you can put your totems down and then you can stand behind it, and your totems will eat those balls, and you can just stand right behind it and just blast. It's so easy. We made it to the boss. So here's the strat for the boss. When you can't do this with every boss. You're just gonna like sit right outside the room, get your totems going. Make sure you switch to your plasma blast before you start gaining rage, because when you switch to it, it'll take 10 rage, and then when you shoot it, it'll take 10 rage. I don't know if that's a bug or whatnot. Hey, gain your rage. And then like we're gonna come into the room here. This guy's gonna take forever to spawn, so I'm gonna make sure I give him time to get up, and that my totems have enough time here. And then I'm gonna get ready, I'm gonna blast him, and I'm gonna switch, and we're gonna get him down. Get him. Okay. We got him to 99% pin. I'm trying to get this where it needs to be. So I just want to show you guys, every boss, especially in these higher tiers, I cannot successfully play. If this was tier 10, he would have been pin locked. So the higher, it seems like the higher the difficulty, the more like resistance they have to pin lock. So I'm gonna have to try to work it into the build. But yeah, 99%. I'm trying to get it to a point where you can just full on get him, no issues, right? It's also, if I get my next Ascendancy and my totems have an extra 30% skill speed, he'll be pinned and I don't have to worry about it, right? So that's what I'm currently trying to perfect with this build, but I just want to show you that. Literally like tier 13 and under, it pins them, no problem. So that's why this is like a mid-maps build at the moment. But yeah, so that's the goal. And because I have shock burst with the extra 120% pin, you have to be like right on him for it to work. Also another trick, because we have fresh click on shock burst, get your shock burst rounds to like as low as you can. Like I got mine on 1 right now, so when I switch to shock burst and I start blasting the enemy, I'm gonna get the extra 21% on top of for fresh clip, because it'll reload. So let's get him here. Reload, and then we're going. So we might, yeah, we're gonna have to move. Now he's pinned. Oh, you know what happened? I know exactly what happened with these bosses. I have +1 to boss difficulty. Okay. So because I'm on tier 15 maps with +1 difficulty, that's why he's not getting pinned consistently. So as long as you don't have the increased difficulty, which you're most likely not going to have it yet, you don't have to worry about him not getting pin locked. So this is going to be, yeah, a problem that I got to solve on this build for like end game, right? Because if you look at my Atlas tree, I'm running +1 to the map boss difficulty. So the higher I go in this, the harder it's going to be to pin them. So, but it works without that 100%. I have plenty of clips. They want to throw up some clips now. All right, she's pinned. She's dead. Nice. There it is. Blast him. He's done. He's pinned again. He can't move. He dead. All right, new big damage. Oh my god. Oh, he's done. He's done. Buddy, you gotta get blasted. We did. We got him. We got him. We had enough pin build up that he didn't get us when he came off of it. Come on, sir. Come on. Come on. In. Nice. And we're far away, too. There's a lot less pin because of our distance. Come on, sir. All right. Tier 15. First map completed, first boss pinned. Yes. All right, let's go over the skills. Skills are still the same. We have galvanic here, martial tempo, conduction, close combat, and innervate. Innervate, if you can put this on earlier, put this on earlier. This is massive damage. Shock burst rounds, we're still running fresh clip, lockdown, so we can get that extra pin build up, primal armament, and concentrated effect. Now, I honestly might put martial tempo on shock burst rounds if I can. I'm gonna have to see, right? Because if I can shoot faster, if I can get this to, you know, have more attack speed, technically it should pin faster because the bullets are coming out faster. Or I'll try out heft, which is an extra 30% damage, which I don't know if pin scales off of the amount of damage you do, or if it's going to scale better off the speed. Because if I get more hits in, the pin's going to build faster. But then it's like if I do more damage, is the pin going to build faster? I don't know. That's something I have to mess around with. But I will figure it out. I will get this pin, even if I got to like pull back some points on the passive tree and go get another jewel slot and get another 20% pin build up. We'll figure it out. Okay, but fresh clip, lockdown, primal armament, and concentrated effect. Okay. Plasma blast. We are running lasting shock, so we get 8 seconds of shock off of this. Hourglass, overcharge. Now, if you see this, when you do the shock, it reflects it back onto you. I've got something else that I'm going to show you that's going to make that only last 2 seconds on you. So by the time the boss comes off of pinlock, your shock off of you is going to be gone, and you don't have to worry about the extra damage. And then I have Rage Forge. You will consume 10 rage to deal 35% more damage. All right. Rip Wire. Still running the same stuff. Ancestral Urgency, Font of Rage, Font of Blood, Font of Mana. It's just going to keep pumping your health, mana, and give you that damage. Explosive Grenade, same old Scatter Shot, Expedite, and Payload. We got Emergency Reload, same thing, Premeditation, Ingenuity, and Murderous Intent. Herald of Thunder, Deadly Herald, Leverage, and Bone Shrapnel. Wind Dancer, we're running Clarity, Precision, and Herbalism, and Berserk. And when I said there's a new one right here, Strong-Hearted. Strong-Hearted, 50% less shock duration. Plus, like, I had more Spirit that I still have Spirit. I could still put another one of these. I'll probably put the 50% less freeze duration on you. So yeah, so when we get that extra 50% magnitude, but we shock ourselves, this helps make that shock only last 2 seconds instead of 4 seconds. Cannibalism, recover life on kill, and Vitality, regenerate 1% of maximum life per second. So there's that. And that's all for the skills. That's it. That's what we're running. Now, as far as the passive tree goes, I'll kind of like show the gist of it. You can either go to the Mobalytics, or you can, I guess, try to get it from here. It's probably easier from the Mobalytics, but basically, this is what it's looking like. Okay, a lot of people are asking how you're getting extra totems. Right here, and right here. Okay, on the strength side. Not much has changed here, besides getting some evasion, and I'm working my way downtown, walking fast. Base is past and I'm homebound, you know. Look, I'm working on the skill speed. I'm gonna get 16% skill speed because it just, this build, any mercenary build feels better with skill speed. So I'm gonna work on grabbing that, and then I'll most likely grab some more magnitude and shock duration. So I get to here, I'll be 93. I'm not gonna have much room to do anything else. Or I'm like, should I spend another 3 and get another jewel socket and get more pin build up? Because honestly, with the amount of shock we have now for the boss, if we get our damage up, it'll be enough. I don't know, because you can get the what, +3, +4 boss difficulty. And with the changes they've made to the game, with how we do less damage and the bosses take longer, I don't know if we're going to be able to basically prep the boss for like a long shock duration. It might just be something where you open with Plasma Blast, it pins and shocks them, and then you get Shock Burst out and you get them down, and then you roll a bit, you throw your grenades, and then you prep Plasma Blast, and then the grenades pin them again, and then you blast them with Plasma Blast, and then you rinse and repeat. It might be something where we just got to do 2 rounds of it, you know what I mean, versus just all in one go. So I might not even spec into the extra magnitude. I might honestly go up 3 and grab another socket. We'll see. That's something we got to figure out. But that's what we're running with the skill tree. All right, it's on the Mobalytics, easier to follow. And then gear. All right, basically, if you look at my resistances, we are capped at 75 on everything but chaos. And I have a chaos resistance charm, so that'll give us 68%, but I think they said charms still really aren't working properly. So chaos, definitely, we have to improve. That's when we get one shot, it's from chaos damage, right? So as long as we get this up, especially since we're doing tier 15 maps, this has to be at 75%, or we're not going to have a good time. So it's just a matter of I haven't gotten any new gear. So I just have to either, you know, go on the trade website or figure that out. But whatever you're doing with your gear, it doesn't matter. Mix and match it to max your resistances. A lot of people are like, well, I want to put exactly what you have. It's not going to be exactly what I have. Max your resistances, change your runes around to, you know, which it's good now because now we'll lose the rune, but we can replace the runes. Before, once you put the rune in, it was stuck and you couldn't change it, and it was really hard to change gear around. But now we can do that. So max out all your resistances, and we'll worry about specific stats later, okay? But for this build, you want to pump as much mana and mana regeneration as you can. Same with life regeneration. So we're at 45 and 72. If we put all this down, we are at 96 and 85. So our life regen basically doubles, and then we get 2% on kill. So that's what, 10%? You're looking at, it helps when you're blasting mobs, pretty much getting a ton of health back, right? So yeah, crossbow. Main thing you're going to look for in your crossbow is the percentage for fizz, flat physical damage, flat lightning damage. You're going to look for elemental damage. You're going to look for plus however many to level of your projectile skills, and attack skill speed, whatever one it is. I can't remember if it's attack speed on the bow or if it says skill speed. I think it might say attack speed. Those are what you're looking for. Ideal bow, all of those. So we're missing skill speed and flat fizz. Or if I got another percent, I saw somebody with a bow that had like 200% fizz damage, and the low end was like 400 and the high end was like 700 some. I was like, holy shit, that's massive. That's a massive amount of damage. The biggest thing you can do is try to buy a good bow, and everything's fairly cheap right now. Divines are only worth 50 exalts. They used to be like 150 to 250 depending on the day. So right now the market's real easy to buy. So if you can grab something now, like I bought this bow for 1 divine, and then I exalted it twice, and it's decent. But you know, even if you see a bow listed for like 40 exalt and it's a magic, but it's got like 135% fizz and high lightning damage, grab it and fucking craft that shit and just be like, all right, well, it is what it is. It's better than what I had. Anyway, that's what you're looking for. My head, I'm running armor and evasion. I'll probably keep armor and evasion on this and then run evasion on everything else. Pretty much max life, max mana. I got a strength boost to this, and I got big fire resistance. Big evasion on this. I got cold res, chaos res. I got big life regen. My gloves, same thing. Added lightning damage to attacks. Baby dexterity, leech damages life. You know, whatever. This is kind of, we can definitely get better gloves. We're looking at the boots here. I'm gonna want 30% movement speed. I don't know if it goes to 35, but we got good resistances on our boots. And then as far as rings go, I got 25% increased lightning damage. I've got life regen and then more resistances, obviously. We don't need the cold damage, but it is what it is. Our other ring, we're pumping mana strength, increased mana regen, some resistances. Light radius is absolute shit. And then for our amulet, I'm running plus 20 to all attributes, 44% increased mana regen, maximum mana, 11 intelligence. And I put careful aim on here, which is projectile damage for now, because that's the only thing I could put on at the moment. Which, if we go to our passives, you're at the start, it's literally right here. It's guilt, paranoia. Very easy to put that on. So if you've done a few deliriums, you can go ahead and grab that for some extra damage. But that's pretty much what I'm doing. So as you can see, when I'm spamming totems, look how fast my mana goes back up. And then I start blasting. You know, put some down, start blasting. You're never going to run out of mana. Like, and if you do, pop a mana potion, bloop, right back up. So mana, if you get that high enough, you don't have to worry about your mana. A lot of people, how do you manage the mana? Pump mana regen. That's it. So that's it. That's what we're working with. Big damage, big pin. I think maybe, like I said, you can pin lock bosses as long as you don't have them +1, +2, +3, +4. So I'll work on that for endgame. But I think with the state of the game, with how they've tuned our damage down and made the bosses take longer to kill, we'll probably just have to cycle. It's not going to be like one-shotting it anymore with this build. It's more going to be convenience of we hit them, we pin them, we move around, and then we do our move again, shock them, and then finish them. Like, that's probably going to be what's going on, honestly. But anyway, you know the drill. Subscribe, come back. See you on the next one.